Hello and welcome to this first lecture of Data and Analytics in this course on Excellence in Digital Strategy. So this module will help you understand how to build data and analytics capabilities so critical for excellence in formulation and implementation of a winning digital strategy. At the end of this lecture, we will talk about what drives the right data and analytics capability, and you might have some guesses by now. And what are the types of informations that is needed? And in the next lecture, we'll talk about building blocks for the data analytics capability. So what do you think determines the right data analytics capabilities required? Again, it is your business strategies that driven by digital that you would have formulated right in the beginning. That determines what is the right kind of data analytics required. And we saw that there are five kind of strategies: classical, adaptive, visionary, shaping, and renewal. And each of them have their peculiar data and information requirements, and that sets the tone for the data and analytics required. So let's look at the classical strategy. The classical strategy with information is relatively modest. You need to invest in new sources of information or consider existing sources of information in new way to drive novel insights. So driving insights is the key thing, but since the competitive advantage is reasonably sustainable, there are no major things that is required. The key thing is to know the superior performance tracking, because you need to do excellence in performance on each area of accountability. You need to have superior performance tracking and early warning signals and course correction on the performance, as well as, of course, on the environment. Adaptive strategy will need a different kind of data analytics capability. Let's look at what they need. So it's critical in this kind of strategy and environment is to to do both signal capture and effective management of a portfolio of experiments, because that is what adaptive strategy is all about. You must continuously refresh external change data, what is changing outside you, and have analytical capability to uncover hidden pattern, because change is continuous. And this needs to be broadly embedded in the organization. You need to have this embedded in the organization. Information needed to manage individual experiments and overall portfolio. So information is used by the individual to run the experiments and overall portfolio. Must have excellent intelligence. So you need great intelligence about industry, competition, customers, and customer trends. And you need to invest in advanced analytics capability that can capture and leverage disparate real-time data. So you are getting a sense of what kind of data and analytics do you need here. Information needs to be easily and broadly accessible to all the people in the organization, and visualization is equally important to make it easy for all parts of organization to tap into it. Accurate data is required for both the experiments and corresponding control to determine whether the outcome meets the criteria for advancing or stopping the experiment. So a lot of information is needed in this. You also need information on overall idea generation, success rates, experimentation cost, and progression speeds and resource allocation across the portfolio to monitor that. And you need to extract as much learning as possible for each experiment. The same is true for data analytics capability for implementing a visionary strategy in terms of different kinds of information that is needed. So there again, you need to, in a visionary kind of a setup, you need to have analytics capability to look beyond the face value of signal to discover new possibilities. So deeper insights is what is needed. You need to step back and challenge your own established view on your industry and firm. The blind spots need to be overcome. So the rigorous analysis is needed. And you need to look for information beyond the confines of comfort zone to see the new possibility. Now, for established company, you will find these difficult, and the question is, what kind of information do you need to collect to do that? Similarly, specific kind of information is needed for the data and analysis for implementing the shaping strategy. As an orchestrator, you must facilitate and monitor the relationship between multiple parties and catalyze these interactions to create mutually favorable outcomes. Now, this can be challenging because enormous transaction complexity is, you can see there, between the large parties of the ecosystem, because there are very, very large number of people on the ecosystem. But information is critical that can smooth the interaction between the people. So information needs to be easily shareable, accessible, current, facilitating a market-based adjustment mechanism that doesn't require the constant intervention of the, so automation is critical here. Most naturally, the digital platforms are right for that. The platforms should be designed to automatically generate information on customer satisfaction, demand patterns, overall health of the ecosystem, and do not need ad hoc orchestrator interaction. Successful virtual marketplace collect both data from the marketplaces as well as share with participants in an easily digestible and valuable manner. Finally, select qualitative measures are needed to tell the orchestrator whether the co-evolution process is working. These kind of measurements required capturing new data, vitality index, growth of the ecosystem, and combined profitability or market share of the ecosystem as a whole. And lastly, let's look at what kind of information and data analytics would we need for a renewal strategy implementation. See, the first thing is that a renewal strategy plans to focus on and economize and then pivots to a new strategy for long-term prosperity. So information should support those in three critical ways: detecting warning signals, informing the development of the saving plans, and tracking progress against these plans. Now, since we do not know the new strategy that will be used, the focus is on the first phase of economizing. This which requires disciplined execution of the financial improvement project. So detailed action plans cascading to every level of organization to ensure accountability and iterations to track progress and support that goal is required of the information system. The information required for the second phase can vary, so we will not talk about that. In the phase form, phase one, the firm should use a suite of analytical measurement tools to plan and track performance improvement. Every dollar is important, so companies undertake detailed activity-based costing. So you need activity costings to assign the correctly identify the cash positive and cash negative products. Then you need analytical tools like benchmarking and delayering analysis to identify potential cost savings. And then to assess likely success of each project, you need to use methods like DICE, where the intervention is required. Finally, the firms need to be aligned on restructuring plan, so they track progress against it with tools ranging from simple Gantt charts to more complex project management software. So your information system must be able to use that. We have seen some of these information management tools in classical approach. Here as there, the tool must be deployed in an insightful manner rather than a mechanical manner. Using tools to facilitate conversation rather than replace them helps avoid the ritualization process, and that is what the information system should try and help do. So having looked at what are the different needs of the different strategies in different environments for the data analytics capabilities, what do we do next? So in the next, we will look at how can we build this data and analytics capabilities for digitization. Thank you so much for watching this first lecture of data and analytics section in this course on excellence in digital strategy. I hope you have again learned a couple of new things. Have you enjoyed? And I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture.